This week, we filed two major lawsuits to defend the rights and humanity of people detained in ICE custody across Florida. Along with our partners, we challenged the inhumane conditions at the Everglades Immigration Detention Center, which you've probably heard cruelly referred to as Alligator Alcatraz. People held there are being denied access to lawyers and are subjected to overcrowded, dangerous, and inhumane conditions. What's happening at this facility is not just a policy failure, it's a moral one. In another facility near Jacksonville, we filed a lawsuit seeking justice for a woman who was sexually abused and repeatedly physically abused by guards at the Baker County Detention Center. Her mere request for feminine products was met with abuse, humiliation, and solitary confinement for almost a month. She's now bravely seeking justice, not just for herself, but to hold Baker accountable. These aren't isolated incidents. They are part of a larger system that treats immigrants, many of whom are asylum seekers and survivors, as disposable. But together, we can fight back in the courts, in the community, and in solidarity. Because every person, regardless of immigration status, deserves to feel safe and to be treated with basic human decency. Share this, speak out, stand for immigrant justice in Florida.
I say this quickly from a 24-year-old. My dad was recently taken in one of those ICE raids, which means that he's currently in a detention center and I don't know what's gonna happen. And obviously it's like weighing very heavily on me, but one thing I keep thinking about is just how much I would prioritize my goals, my careers, having a car. I would prioritize working so much, going to school so much, living with my roommate because I really wanted my independence and I had lived my whole life with my family. I was left with the clothing that I spent so much time picking out and working for. I was left with the car that I had spent so much time working for and telling my family, no, I have to go to work, I have bills to pay. And when they took my dad, I was left with nothing but that apartment, nothing besides this car. I was left with all the clothes and none of that truly matters. Like, if I can give up absolutely everything I have, get my dad back, I would. If you have your family, especially immigrant parents, spend time with them, live with them for as long as you can, because chasing that career, chasing all those material things, chasing that bag, that hustle culture, it doesn't lead you anywhere besides an empty place when you have the absolutely one thing that God placed us on this earth to do, which is love. I don't have my daddy. When I graduate, I don't have my dad that's gonna hug me. Value your family, value love, value Jesus Christ more than you value material things, because they're all fleeting and they're so not worth it. My parents taught me to work for what I have, and that even includes paying for my father's legal fees and all that. I do have a small business, so if you want to go ahead and help my family and I with all the legal stuff, go ahead and purchase a journal.
We gotta support each other. That's the name of the game.
How you like your hat?
It's fantastic. I'm an immigrant too.
This guy's freaking awesome, man. Respect.
Support immigrants.
Damn, my boy Eli just bought me like 10 hats right now, man. You're the...
My name's Esteban, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm not Eli.
Oh, man. Show me your hat, though. Damn, you look good, man. Look at that.
There's been reports that there is a signed memo by ICE director on July 8th of this year, which indicates that no person that came into the United States illegally will be eligible for a bond and must be in ICE custody throughout the entire removal proceedings. That's interesting because today I just had a bond hearing approved. It was a person who came here long ago in 2005 and has not been placed in expedited removal proceedings. Although the prosecutor did argue he was in mandatory custody, I argued against it and the judge agreed. Bond was granted. So please make sure you continue to file for your bond hearings and wait until the judge decides the case. Good luck.
I haven't heard from my husband in 5 days. 5 days. Where have you taken him? Where have you taken him? Have you fed him alligators? Is he in another concentration camp? Because he isn't in Vietnam, where he's supposed to be. If you deport people where they're supposed to be, where they're from, where they're born from, he shouldn't be gone in the first place. He had a working visa here. He was legal. But y'all took him anyway. Y'all kidnapped him right out of our home and away from our family, our 2 children, and our dog. Leaving me to struggle all by myself. And I just filled out paperwork for fucking government assistance. And guess what? They ain't helping me. They ain't helping me. 2 weeks. 2 weeks for emergency assistance. 2 weeks for emergency assistance. Did you feed my husband alligators? Because I can't find him. The government lost a whole human. Lost my husband. Lost him. How do you fucking lose somebody? Give him back. Like, why is it so bad that he stays here? You people are so freaking racist. You're racist. You're inhumane. And when you sit in purgatory getting tortured, you might understand where it comes from. Because I am being tortured. My family's being tortured. My husband's being tortured. I'm being tortured emotionally. I'm stressed out. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I am worried to death right now that y'all have done something to my husband. And there's a reason he can't contact me. Karma needs to come back and kidnap your entire family. So you understand the pain. And the I'm sorry's, don't even bother. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, I'm sorry, since this has happened to me, I wouldn't need to bother to come on here to ask for help. I'd literally be living, rolling in dough, rolling in it. You people can help, but you choose not to. You could do something, but you choose not to. You can save an entire family, but you choose not to. But you're concerned like, I'm exactly like you guys. The dog video that's been circulating, that's cruel. Those dogs had places. They had homes. The children love them. The families love them. Because these people are not bad people. The people you say are, oh my God, they did something wrong. They're illegal. Oh my God. Look at yourself. You ain't a good guy or a good woman. You know that. You go to church and you're like, oh, please forgive me. You need forgiven. And when you stand up there and you explain to God, well, illegal immigrant, when he is one. When his mom's one. When Jesus is one. Say your sorries for somebody who actually cares. Because right now, sorries don't pay the bill. Sorries don't pay the bills. Sorries don't feed the family. Sorries don't get my husband back. And you'd be fine if you murdered him, right? You'd be fine if you actually killed him. Because it don't affect you, so it's fine. It doesn't matter if it affects an entire life, or destroys an entire life, or destroys an entire family. You don't care. As long as it's not you. Well, I hope you have the day you deserve. And I cannot wait for karma to take everything back.
¿Qué tal, mi gente linda? Como tal vez ya escucharon, dicen que van a haber redadas masivas en el condado de Los Ángeles y en sus alrededores, ya sean los condados de San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange y Ventura, hoy viernes 18 de julio, el sábado 19 y domingo 20 de julio 2025. Quiero traerles 3 consejos que son muy importantes, que por favor es importante que la comunidad los sepa. Y número 1 es: calladito te ves más bonito. Mi papá le decía a mi hermano siempre: calladito te ves más bonito. ¿Por qué les digo esto? Porque nosotros, las personas en los Estados Unidos, todos, sin importar el estatus, tenemos el derecho a permanecer en silencio si llegamos a ser detenidos por un oficial de la ley o si un oficial de la ley nos hace preguntas. Así que no importa que sea un oficial estatal o un oficial federal, nosotros tenemos el derecho de permanecer en silencio. Así que calladito te ves más bonito. Número 2 es que sí quede huella, que sí quede huella. En los 90 me parece había una canción que decía que no quede huella, que no quede huella. Pues aquí les estoy diciendo que sí quede huella, que sí quede huella. Es muy importante que ustedes usen la función de compartir su ubicación. Compartir mi ubicación se llama la función de su teléfono, no importa si es un iPhone o un Android, cualquier tipo de teléfono, usted puede compartir su ubicación con una persona de su confianza, ya sea su cónyuge, un hermano, una hermana o sus hijos. Usted puede compartir su ubicación, aunque dicen que ellos, cuando detienen a una persona, los oficiales de ICE, que apagan el celular de la persona o se los quitan, pero su familiar puede ver cuál fue la última ubicación donde su teléfono estuvo prendido y de ahí pueden ver si algo le pasó. Ok, y por último es que necesitamos aprendernos un número de teléfono. Hoy en día ya no nos aprendemos los números de teléfono porque todos están en nuestro celular. Necesitamos memorizar un número de teléfono de una persona de nuestra suma confianza. Ok, y ahora les voy a dar un consejito de mi perspectiva. Si usted mira un oficial de ICE en una tienda, no salga corriendo porque eso es lo que ellos quieren ver. Nos pueden robar de todo, pero no nos pueden robar la dignidad. Andemos con nuestra frente en alto, con la frente en alto, con la mirada en alto. No bajemos la cara porque miremos a algún oficial. Si usted sabe que su conciencia está limpia, que usted no ha hecho nada malo, usted levante su cara y si los mira, siga como si nada, porque ellos pueden oler el miedo. Dicen que ellos pueden oler el miedo. Así que, por favor, actúe como si nada. Y últimamente, nunca usemos la violencia para resistir a estas personas, porque la violencia no llega a nada, número 1, y número 2, se le pueden levantar cargos muy graves de asaltar a un oficial federal y esos cargos pueden resultar en muchos años de prisión federal a una persona que asalte a un oficial de la ley, a un oficial federal. Hoy en día hasta una pluma puede ser considerada un arma mortífera, así que por favor no hagamos nada que involucre la violencia en contra de estas personas. Hemos visto las violencias que se miran en las protestas. Esas son absolutamente malas para nuestra reputación porque ellos lo usan para decir que por eso nos quieren sacar. Así que en ningún momento usen la violencia para resistirlas a estas personas. Siempre con dignidad y siempre usando la paz. Si tienen alguna pregunta, por favor, déjenmelas en los comentarios y yo personalmente les contestaré. Gracias.
No judge, no warrant, no problem if you're ICE in Utah. Today's Fresh Hill is that Utah County has voted to bring ICE deeper into their local law enforcement and why we should all be paying attention. Utah County's commission voted unanimously to approve not 1, not 2, but 3 separate agreements with ICE after 5 hours of public testimony where over 100 Utah County residents were there to oppose these agreements. And then the commission said you're going to be disappointed before they even voted. On January 20th, Trump signed an executive order that requires ICE to authorize local law enforcement under Section 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The programs deputize local police to act as immigration agents. There are 3 main versions of this program. So the first model is the jail enforcement model. It allows jail staff to screen people for immigration violations. They can flag and process people who are in custody before they've been convicted of any crime. It turns every single local jail into a pipeline for ICE. Undocumented people who have been booked into jail or wrongly arrested are at risk for deportation.
information.
The second program is the task force model. This gives local officers ICE powers as they're conducting normal law enforcement business. It allows ICE to embed in local police departments to enforce immigration. This turns normal police interactions into potential deportation triggers. It will also lead to victims and witnesses of crimes not calling the police for fear of deportation.
The third program is the Warrant Service Officer Program. This program deputizes officers and allows them to serve administrative ICE warrants inside of jails. And guess what? Those warrants aren't signed by a judge. This undermines due process. Local officers can hold people without any judicial oversight. None of these agreements come with any extra resources or funding. There are no safeguards to prevent abuse or profiling. And overall, every single one of these models makes immigrant communities less safe.
Utah County just signed the Warrant Service Officer Program, the Task Force Model, and a separate data sharing agreement. The Utah County Sheriff said that ICE is already in our community and that we have no control over ICE. But this will give the Sheriff's Office transparency and a seat at the table. I don't think that's really true though. This year, we have seen these agreements signed with a bunch of other law enforcement agencies. The Department of Corrections has a Warrant Service Officer Program. Weaver County has the Task Force Model. Tooele County, which has both the Task Force Model and the Warrant Service Officer Program. Sanpete County has the Jail Enforcement Model. Beaver County has the Warrant Service Officer Program. Washington County has both the Task Force Model and the Jail Enforcement Model. And Cache County has a pending agreement for the Warrant Service Officer Program.
Since Trump was elected, ICE arrests have exploded across the country and especially in the West. In December of 2024, the Salt Lake City ICE Field Office reported 250 arrests. By May of 2025, they had 740 arrests that month. Jesus Christ. In June, we had 42 non-custodial arrests in 10 days. That means people that were stopped at home, at work, on the street, not in jail. And over 1/3 of the arrests in Utah had no criminal record at all. Trump has given ICE a quota of 3,000 arrests per day. Obviously, Trump ran his campaign on arresting the worst of the worst, and we see that rhetoric from local legislative leaders here. But this is not true. We are deporting people who are not criminals.
This has all been crafted by Trump advisor Stephen Miller, who is one of the most sinister and worst people that has ever been in the federal government. He said on Fox News that red state governors should pick up the phone, call DHS, and work with us to build facilities in your state. And of course, Republicans in Utah are jumping at the chance to make the White House happy and ruin our communities. Buried in Trump's tax bill that just passed is a $3.5 billion slush fund for temporary detention of aliens. That's code for here's some money to build your own alligator Alcatrazes. That's code for build your own alligator Alcatraz. How's that? In Spencer Cox's May press conference, he said that we would love to have a holding facility. We've made several offers. And with the new money in Trump's budget bill, maybe he'll finally get his wish. Why he would love to have a holding facility is this is disgusting. And because Trevor Lee can't help himself, he tweeted at Stephen Miller saying, anyway, also wrong anyway, it should be anyway. Anyway, we can help at Stephen M. DM me and we'll get the ball rolling in Utah. It is real pick me energy. No, I'll do it, Stephen. And me. Let's do Nazi shit together. Yeah, I'm sure he's DMing Trevor Lee. Piece of shit.
As a reminder, we are not your lawyers, but here's some friendly advice from the ACLU. If you are approached by ICE, stay calm. Don't run or argue. As always, you have the right to remain silent. You do not have to answer questions. Please, for the love of God, shut up. You also do not have to consent to search. Now, here's the deal. If you are not a U.S. citizen and an ICE officer asks for your papers, you do have to show your papers if you have them. If you do not have them, you can indicate that you wish to remain silent. In Utah only, you only have to give officers your name and your date of birth, and you do not need to give them your address or your immigration status. Don't give them anything extra. They are not your friend. If you are driving and you're pulled over, show your license, your registration, and your insurance, but you do not need to answer questions about your immigration status. If you are detained, you always have the right to a lawyer, but ICE does not have to provide you one. You can ask for a list of free or low-cost options. Make sure you ask for a lawyer before you say anything. This sucks. We live in hell. I'll be honest with you, this issue feels really hard. This is a federal issue, and there's not a lot of local things that we can do, but a couple of things that you can do. If you live in any other county that's not one of these, you can call your sheriff's office and your county commissioners and ask where they stand. You can support immigrant rights organizations like Comunidades Unidas, ACLU of Utah, or Immigrant Legal Services. Keep an eye on your local county commission meeting agendas, and if something like this is coming up, 1, DM us and let us know, and 2, show up to the meetings. Having all of those people
people at the meeting in Utah County was incredibly impactful. And even if the commissioners didn't listen or didn't change their votes, it's still so important. Talk to people around you, talk to your neighbors. It is so important that we spread the truth because there is a lot of fear right now. And so if you can help people with resources or tips so that they know what to do if something happens to them, that is one of the best things that you can do to help. We can make sure that our immigrant communities, that our politicians, our elected officials know where we stand, that this is not what Utah looks like, this is not what Utah values look like, and we won't stand by while this is happening because this is just not who we are.
Well, we now know the price of selling one's soul. $100,000 salary, $42,000 signing bonus, and a little Christmas bonus, and you too can work for ICE to rip parents away from their children, subject them to inhumane conditions of confinement, and commit human rights abuses each and every day in violation of the United States Constitution because the U.S. government now says it's okay. And how can we make a priority of spending money on this cruelty to individuals who should be given a path to citizenship and work permits because they're arresting people who contribute to our society while we take away food for children, Medicare, education? I mean, the United States priorities are just upside down right now, and we have elected in the Republican Party. I mean, let's face it, let's call it out. The Republican Party is the one who unanimously voted for this bill in the House and basically enabled ICE to have 10 times more funding for private prisons, profiting to people who create private prisons to basically cause human suffering that are always understaffed, food not given, medication not given, inadequate water, no access to an attorney in violation of the United States Constitution. And this is what we're spending our tax dollars on. No, we couldn't have a break for student loans for people to be able to better invest in the economy and perhaps buy a home and get the American dream. These are all U.S. citizens that we're going to benefit. No, we got to spend money on people that are going to cause cruelty and the militarization of the United States of America. We are now going to have armed goons who have been allowed to proceed in our streets without any identification, wearing masks, driving cars that are not marked, and ripping people off the streets. And this is going to be a daily occurrence. Get out there. Make sure you're registered to vote. There are more of us that say this is absurd. The public polls really have shown that this is not very popular. But the only way things are going to change is if we have a mass exodus to the voting booths where people are going to actually show up and vote and say, no, Republicans have now become the party of evil. They are against the Constitution of the United States of America, and we need a return to normalcy and the values that at times can make America great.
ICE agents are terrorizing communities across America as they carry out Donald Trump's deportation agenda, drawing comparisons to the kind of extrajudicial secret police historically implemented by authoritarian regimes. I'm Rolling Stone politics reporter Nikki McCann Ramirez, and here's why some in the Trump administration are laughing about this. Rolling Stone reports that some of the most MAGA members of Trump's government are privately embracing the secret police label, regularly asking each other what the secret police are up to.
We are on the ground here in Auburn, Alabama today, where the Gulf of America Homeland Security Task Force is embarking on a massive statewide enforcement action that is addressing the culmination of criminal activity with illegal immigration as we investigate an organization that has allegedly been involved in human smuggling, weapons trafficking, illegal narcotics, as well as the running of multiple businesses that are responsible for harboring illegal aliens statewide, employing them, and facilitating illegal activity that is fueling the profits of this organization. Many of the individuals that were arrested today, while illegally present and illegal aliens in the United States, also have extensive criminal histories that we are uncovering as we process them behind us.
So if you don't know by now, this is George Retes, 25-year-old disabled veteran of the United States Army who is also a United States citizen. He was detained by ICE in Camarillo, California, when there was an ICE raid. And even though he told them that he was a United States citizen, they did not care. They ignored the fact that he also stated that he was a veteran. His wife, who is also a U.S. Army veteran, pleaded with them to find out where his whereabouts were, and they failed to tell her anything. Well, after 3 days of being detained by ICE, he was finally released from ICE detention. Upon his release, he made a statement, and here it is.